Very good morning, students. In the last video, we have learned how the BJT can be made to work as an amplifier. So in today's class, we are going to make use of the BJT to act as a on or off switch. And as I told you already, the transistor can be made to be operate as a switch, provided if we are going to operate the transistor alternatively in cutoff and saturation region. So let us see if I am going to operate in cutoff region and how the transistor responds. So this is the circuit diagram. I have taken an NPN transistor and it is biased with the help of the input voltage Vi and uh, the collector voltage VCC. So now I am going to make the transistor to operate in cutoff region. So for that, what I am doing is I am going to make the input voltage as 0. So if input voltage is 0, that is if there is no input, the majority charge carriers in the base, it will be left as such and there will not be any movement of charge carriers across the junction. So thereby I can take the base current as 0. If the base current is 0, again the output current also can be considered as 0. That is, the output current is the collector current, which is also 0. That is, the transistor will be in off position. That is, across the collector terminal, there will be a voltage drop between the collector and the emitter terminal, and it is going to act as a open circuit. So if it becomes an open circuit, whatever the voltage source provided at the collector terminal, the complete voltage will be available across the collector emitter terminal. That is, VCE will be equal to VCC. So thus I am making the transistor to act as a switch with off position. That is, the transistor will be in off and there will be an open circuit across the collector and emitter, and the voltage drop across the collector emitter will be equal to VCC. So that is what we have explained here. VCE will be equal to VCC. So now I am going to operate the transistor in saturation region so that it can be operated as a closed switch. So now I am going to give an input voltage Vi, which is equal to plus V. So if a voltage is provided across the input, that is to the base of the transistor, the emitter base junction, I am going to make it as forward biased. If the emitter base junction is forward biased, we can say that there will be flow of majority charge carriers which will constitute the base current. So if there is a base current, again this will make the transistor to operate in the saturation region, and the collector current, if you see, it will be equal to the voltage connected to the collector terminal minus the voltage drop across the collector emitter terminal whole divided by the collector resistance. So VCE, as we know, when it is when there is a flow of maximum flow of collector current, the VCE will be very small in terms of 0.2 volt, and hence it can be neglected. So thereby you will be getting the collector current at saturation region, which is equal to VCC divided by RC. So in order to make the transistor as a closed switch, we need to see that whether there is enough base current so that it makes the transistor to operate in saturation region. So for that, as we know, beta is equal to IC divided by IB. From that I have written what is IB minimum. So what should be the minimum value of base current in order to drive the transistor into saturation region. So IB should be minimum value of the base current has to be equal to IC saturation divided by beta DC. And we have to ensure that the base current, minimum base current should be greater than the IB value, so that that is IB should be significantly greater than minimum base current, so that the transistor will be operated in the saturation region. And this is the circuit where we have the NPN transistor. So this transistor is driven by a input voltage source Vi. So plus V volt voltage V I am going to apply. This makes the transistor to work and it will be under forward bias. If there is a flow of current across the base, definitely you can expect the collector current across the collector terminal. So there is collector current IC, and in order to make the transistor to operate in the saturation region, we have to see that the base current has to be greater than the minimum base current required to make the transistor to be operated in saturation region. So once the collector current flows, we can see that it is equivalent to a closed switch. So this is how we are going to make the transistor to operate as a on switch or off switch. So this is the important application of the BJT as a switch. Once again I will conclude, if the input voltage is 0, there will not be any base current. If base current is 0, collector current is also 0. So the voltage drop across the collector and the emitter will be equal to the collector voltage VCC. And we can observe that there is an open circuit across the collector and the emitter terminal. Hence the transistor acts as a open switch. Whereas in the case of closed switch, I am going to apply an input voltage Vi. So this voltage should be sufficient in order to make the transistor to be operated in saturation region. And also I have to ensure that the base current has to be greater than the minimum base current required to make the transistor to operate in saturation region. So whenever the transistor, the input junction is under forward bias, base current flows, and this makes the collector current also be available at the collector terminal. So this will maximum flow of collector current will be getting it, and this makes the transistor to be act as a closed switch. So the equivalent circuit diagram also I have shown right to that. It is going to act as a closed switch. So the next application is transistor switch circuit to switch on or off an LED. So it is similar to the previous circuit, except that I am going to connect an input voltage of square wave with time period 1 second. And another difference is, since I am going to switch on or off an LED, I have connected an LED across the collector terminal to see that the LED whether the output is available across the collector or not, and to check whether the LED glows or not. So as you are seeing here in the circuit diagram, it is an NPN transistor and it is biased with the help of input voltage. A square input voltage is given with a time period of 1 second. That is, for the on period it will take 0.5 second, and for the off period another 5 second. So totally the one cycle it is for 1 second. And another bias voltage is the VCC, which is connected across the collector terminal through the series resistor RC. And even here in the input side also we have base resistor RB, which is going to act as a current limiting resistor. Both RB and RC are current limiting resistors. So now I am going to check whether the LED is under on or off. So how I am going to do it is with the help of the square wave. So when I am going to give a square input pulse, initially the input voltage will be 0. So when Vn is equal to 0, the base current also we can take it as 0, and even if base current is 0, collector current also will be 0, and there will be a voltage drop across the collector emitter terminal. So it is going to act as an open switch. Thereby I can see that there will not be any flow of collector current across the collector emitter junction. So thereby the LED will be in off position. And when the input voltage is high, that is when the square wave is on, that is when the input voltage is high, this voltage should be enough to make the transistor to operate in the forward bias condition. So when it is high, I can expect there will be some flow of charge carriers across the base, which constitute the base current. So provided if base current is flowing, I can expect I'll be having a majority flow of charge carriers across the collector terminal. So there will be a collector current, and this collector current will flow across the LED, make the LED to glow, and it will act as a closed switch. So this collector current will flow across the LED and it will make the LED to glow, that is it will be switched on. So this is how, with the help of a square wave, I am going to switch on the LED for 0.5 second, and it will be off for the next 5 seconds. In the same way, you will be observing for the next uh, cycle of the square input. So I can conclude that this transistor switch, it will either switch on or off an LED based on the square input. So there is one more application of the BJT, that is I am going to turn on or off an lamp with the help of a relay switch. So before going to the operation of the BJT, let us know what is a relay. So relays are basically electromechanical devices that can be used to operate a pair of movable contacts with the help of an electromagnet from an open position to a closed position. Uh, what actually it is there will be a electromagnetic coil, and once this coil is energized, it will be having a pair of movable contacts. So if it is energized, it will make the contact to move from one position to other position. Thereby we can either on or off an lamp which is connected across this relay. So this I am going to implement with the help of an NPN transistor, and what you are observing there, it is an NPN transistor and it is biased with the help of an input voltage Vin, and the resistances, current limiting resistances what I have connected here is 1K and 10K resistance, and across the collector terminal as usual I am going to connect relay, and this relay, if it is in NC, that is no contact, sorry, it is normally closed and normally open position. So whenever the coil is energized, it will make the contact to move from one position to other position. So that is normally if it is in normally closed position, if the coil is being energized due to the collector current, it will move from normally closed position to normally closed open position. Thereby we can see that there is a closed circuit, and this short circuit will make the lamp to glow. So let us see the operation of this NPN transistor, and with the help of relay how we are going to turn on or off the lamp. So this is the basic construction used here. So when the input voltage square wave, I am going to give it as an input. As we have seen in the last circuit, the operation also it is almost the same. When the input voltage is 0, that is when the square wave is 0, when it is in low position, that is input will be 0. There will not be any base current. If base current is 0, collector current is also 0. So if the collector current is 0, the coil will be left unenergized. If that is the case, whatever the position the coil is holding, it will be in the same position. That is, if it is in normally closed position, it will remain in the normally closed position itself. That is, the lamp will not be on. Now if the input voltage, that is the square wave, goes to high, this high voltage, it is enough to make the transistor to be in forward bias condition. Once the transistor is under forward bias, there will be base current. So this base current will produce the collector current across the collector terminal. So if there is a flow of collector current across the collector terminal where the relay is connected, so this relay coil will get energized and it will try to make the contact to move from the normally closed position to normally open position. So once the contact is moved, so it is going to act as a closed circuit. So thereby the lamp will be made to switch on, that is it will turn on. So uh, this will happen only when the square wave is high. Again, when the square wave moves from high to low, again the lamp will be off. Why? Because the input is 0, base current is also 0, collector current will be 0. So it will make the lamp to be available in the same position, that is it will be in off position. Again, when it is high, the same thing will happen in sequence. And what is the advantage of relay is it takes a relatively small amount of power in order to operate the coil, as well as this relay itself can be used to control motors, heaters, lamps or any AC circuit which can draw a large amount of electrical power. So this is what the operation we have discussed now. So okay, let us continue in the next class. So let me conclude. So in today's class we have seen how the transistor is going to be operate as a switch either on or off, and the same it is implemented with the help of an LED, and also with the help of relay also we are able to control a lamp or motors or any other devices such as AC circuits. We can operate it with the help of this relay. Thank you. Let us continue in the next video. Thanks for watching.